Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Van Noorn and this is another Dragonheir Silence God video. I'm back in Grave of Curse again, like the last video that came out on the channel a couple of days ago, because I finally made it work on stage 9 and I want to show you the composition, the requirement to make it work on that stage. It was very close already, but finally with some epic runes, some adjustment has been able to do it. But I want also to talk to you about why it's so important to invest some of your energy in Grave of Curse. I'm not saying you should go all out and invest all your energy in farming Grave of Curse, but what I'm going to do is going to dedicate a third of my energy daily on Grave of Curse for the next few days until I can farm some of the sets that I'm going to need to progress with my account on other bosses, stage 9 in particular. Or any other content really that matters, Vortex in this point, and anything else, because Grave of Curse this season drops maybe 3 of the most important sets and 1 of the most important mythical. And so it's really important to get it right. I know early on the drops are horrible, but nevertheless, if you get lucky with few runs, you get your pieces. And as soon as the Forge gets to the legendary status, we can basically farm and makes in the forge materials. With the forge materials, gets the legendary sets, and then get a massive boost. Now, I've already shown the basic of the tactic of that one, but we're gonna get back to that towards the end of the video. For now, what you need to know is that what you're going to need, it's going over here, filter the ultimate energy down over here in the filters, and you're going to see all the champions that have ability to push back the ultimate energy of the boss. There are many, and some of them are incredible. Gerinka, Holdork, Jorn, for example, these 3 in the fire affinity are absolutely amazing. Victor won't work, so be careful with who you're picking, because for example Victor can push the Terminator back when they get healed, and you don't really need that over here. It's not gonna work. And so even if he has an amazing accuracy aura, which will help a lot, you can't use him, unfortunately. Urganda will work, has a battle skill to push back. Alramar has some mechanics as well. Master, I'm not sure about Krishnor. I haven't never used them. Phantom Down is absolutely mental for doing this job, and he does a lot of damage too. He's my main DPS in this comp, so you know that helps. Vinyara, it's incredible too, and the others, I don't know, Quisitia, Ripacos, and Perseus are doing a good job. When we come to the epics, the one that I know will work for sure are Shook, Clovis, and Nissa. When Nissa is one of the best by far in doing this right now. She has an ultimate that hits twice. She places attack penalty on her battle skills, but most importantly on her passive. When the hero skills deal damage to an enemy with any debuff placed by her or by anybody else, reduce their ultimate energy by 15%. So she does a lot of abilities. You push her quickly. She does a lot of abilities and push back the 2 meter massively. She's absolutely incredible here. A big surprise. I will pick her over anybody else. The reason why Shook is so good instead is because he has a little bit of ultimate energy control over here. It brings debuff, so you can use him to enable Nissa, for example. He has an attack penalty. I put on him the Crown Clean, so have also an extra decreased defense, maybe when the other one is not off. And he has, most importantly, an accuracy aura of 40, which is helping a lot this early in the game, because it's difficult to get the accuracy right. To get the 220 accuracy, it's very difficult. There are also a couple of rares, but it's also this guy over here. I think he does something with manipulating the ultimate energy. He has 60%, getting up to 85, which is decent. It's a bit more unreliable, but he brings also recharge speed penalty, 100% on the battle skills, and it's going to be really useful over here. So don't overlook him. That is something else that you're going to need, recharge speed penalty. Another great champion is going to be Alistair, which is a new addition. Every time When inflicted with debuff control to the enemy, every time you place anything on the enemy, the hero pushed their ultimate energy back of 15%. When the ultimate energy is pushed back all the way to 0, it gains 20% ultimate energy. You're going to see that later in the video that we're going to push that turn meter all the way back to 0 many times, and so you're going to get boost, and so he gets up more, and he can place his recharge speed penalty on his ultimate, which is again very useful, helping keeping the boss going slow and pushing back the turn meter even more. Great champion to do this sort of tactic. I will give a shout out also to Audrey, because she has a triple hitter on the ultimate that goes up to 75% to place a recharge speed penalty, but she also basically pushed the ultimate energy back of 30%. And if you make it fast enough, you have two of the most wanted things for this fight. You have recharge speed penalty and turn meter reduction. Very useful. She has an attack penalty 1, not very important. Sorry, an accuracy penalty 1, not very important over here, but he's a buff nevertheless. And so you can, when he's up on the boss, you know, if you have someone like Nissa that does it, push back the turn meter only when debuffs are up, she's gonna enable her as well. I haven't tried with different champions so far because it's very tricky. It's very complicated to get it done in 5 minutes. You need to find the damage, but I can do it right now. I can do it without any food. The champions I'm using are the same that we saw before in the previous video. I've tweaked around the gear just slightly so that my damage dealer, which is Veteran Down, is going to be the most basically loaded with crit rate and crit damage, and the rest of the cast is basically just support. Cositia is the one in front of the boss because she plays the recharge speed penalty passively. If that is going to happen on the first hit of the boss will never lose. We never get out of the first stint of energy between doing nothing and the first AoE, the first ability basically. If anything goes wrong, the turn meter get reduction get resisted. The recharge speed penalty doesn't go up straight away. It might get to the second window after you use the first ability. It doesn't really matter because I'm gonna have Perseus removing the buffs. And when the buffs are removed, the boss will go to the same speed and it will never leave the second window. You never get so far to use the ultimate, and that's the most important part. You need to be sure that you never get to that point. Accuracy, you're gonna need around 170 accuracy because you have 40 from the aura. So 117 plus 40 does 210. The reality is you should need 220, but you can get away with 210. You're very close and you can still make it. If you still see that is not reliable, just pop some of the food. It's very easy. I think is beast meat and tomatoes. You're gonna get attack and accuracy. That little bit that maybe brings you above the threshold. She has basically a little bit of defense to sustain the initial damage, but she needs also to be able to do some damage when she does the ultimate, so she heals back because she's the only one taking damage over here. The boss only hits one target and is never using the ability, so you don't have to worry about anything else. Shook is bringing the crowning clean, so an extra decreased defense, right accuracy over here, and basically mostly here for the accuracy aura, as I said. A little bit of turn meter reduction on the battle skills, but honestly it doesn't do much. If you have a better option, someone that brings an accuracy aura and some other ultimate energy, swap him out. He is the first one out as soon as I can hit the accuracy without an aura. And I'm going to bring another DPS here, so I'm going to try to kill the boss much faster. Nissa, she is with the incense burner because I want her ultimate to go out as often as possible. She basically only reduced the turn meter when she used the ultimate if they are buff out. So everything she's doing is that. She brings a little bit of damage, but not much. She's be able to attack, crit rate, just to help that much that you can. And most important things, you get to 170 accuracy or as close as possible to it. Even 180 will be better, but it's not that easy this early, so 170 will do. Then we have Perseus with good accuracy. He has a very nasty 12-time eating ultimate energy. So I gave him the Witch's Remain. I was using him to try to do some damage, but he doesn't really do much damage. And so I swapped the Witch's Remain on him, and I put the Slingshot on Fathom down. I want him to do damage, so I push crit rate as much as possible. The accuracy still need to be correct. I've given him some damage dealing type of gear. I give him the crit damage, positive runes, and as you can see, all of them have epic positive runes that I've been able to farm in the last couple of days. The gear is just epic, it's nothing crazy. I'm using any legendary piece of gear yet. I'm using legendary and mythical artifacts, obviously, but they are the usual. It's the Hourglass and the Witch's Remain, which should be your first to pick really when you get a dupe. And so the rest of them are legendary. You can get them with epic dupes, and so I think it's pretty accessible. Obviously, the champions, as I said, are quite specific. You need to look in your account what you can find, and you're going to see that basically there are many champions with ultimate energy, but obviously put together your comp with what you have. Accuracy horror over here, you click play, and what is going to happen is the boss hopefully is going to get the retro speed penalty. Over here he got it too late, so he goes in the second window, which is still fine. We're going to start pushing the turn meter back and removing the buffs, and basically the boss will never leave this window between the two ability. Quisita is going to take some damage, but she heals back. And basically the entire fight will go like this. It goes all the way down to 4 minutes and a half, roughly 4 minutes on a fast run, to be honest. I think my fastest team so far, with some food though, was 4 minutes 0.8. And yeah, I can start farming legendary gear finally from Graver Curse. Now let's leave this one for a moment and let me show you why this dungeon is so important. So as you can see from here, the gear sets that are going to drop from Graver Curse are the Protection set, the Oasis Guardian, and the Zero set. Zero set is back, and Protection set is back to what it was in Season 2, I believe. And so those are three of the most important sets of gear that you can farm for your account, especially to boost up to the stage 9 or all other dungeon. I was talking to my clanmate this morning and I said, you know, I really think that Graver Curse is the first one you should try to push to 9, because it basically unlocks so much more content. And what I mean by that is, if you look at the sets of gear, protections give you defense percentage and HP. Plus basically soak up the damage the rest of your team takes, but takes less damage basically from the same hit. This is going to be very useful if you run, for example, a tank that has high HP, high defense. Someone like Carius or Ardrit, for example, they're going to soak up that damage from the rest of the team, protecting and reducing the possibility that they're going to die. This is incredibly useful and is back with the defense percentage as it was in Season 2, which make a massive difference in what we can do with our comps. The Oasis Guardian is a new addition, and for me, it's one of the sets that I'm looking more after. It gives you skill haste and HP, and basically, when you get 3 places, the wearer HP, when the wearer HP is higher than 60%, the damage taken will be reduced by 25%, which is massive. This is perfect, for example, for my comp, I run Garius as a target for the lightning of the vortex. It's a single hit, it does a lot of damage, and when it kills your tank, is usually basically when your run is going to start falling apart on vortex. Using this set on him will basically guarantee that that massive hit you get through, it will not kill it so early on and will push more turns of survivability from the lightning. It will heal back, get hit by the lightning with the shields on, and it's more difficult for him to get one shot because 25% of the damage get away. You can place the protection set on your second support, which in my case is Ardrit. She's gonna soak up part of that damage too, and so you can get your run going way longer. The third set is the Zero set, which come back as well from Season 2. I believe is pretty much the same as it was. It gives you skill haste and HP. And when the wearer successfully plays a debuff, all allies gain an additional 15% attack for 10 seconds. This is massive. This got to boost your damage dealing as much as possible because, you know, 15% increase attack on your DPS. It's great. It's very difficult to get anything like this, and all of these 3 sets drops from here. Now, of course, you're gonna need also to go farm your DPS gear in Grave of Venom, but Grave of Venom 9 hits like a track, and so if you don't have your tanks, your support build with these sets, it's gonna be very difficult for you to survive anything in there. Enable your DPS to kill the boss quicker. And so you need, your first step need to be Grave of Curse. Big massive bonus from here is that we also have a chance to get the Moonlight Mantle. Moonlight Mantle is incredibly powerful when placed on your healer and someone like Garius with the Gatekeeper stuff, because when healing, there is a 50% chance that the wearer grants 50% increase healing and shield effect. So what you can proc over here is a massive heal from Garius and a massive increase on the shields, and that's going to boost even more your survivability in Vortex and anywhere else in the game. The Gatekeeper staff, in my opinion, is the third artifact in your priority when you choosing from the mythical artifact. From the legendary dupes, you should go, of course, Witch's Remain, Hourglass, and then it's the Gatekeeper staff. So the entire combination of sets you can get from here, it's going to impact you massively in your progression. Unlock stage 9 on the other dungeons, and I believe if you don't do this in the same order that I'm doing it right now, you're probably going to lose out on a bit of progression because you need to build your Psychic core much more to be able to sustain the damage on those dungeons, and so everything is going to be massively slower. Again, as I said in the beginning, I'm not saying you should go all out and use all your energy in Grave of Curse. Farming gear is still not efficient until day 30, when the massive increase drop will happen, but if you can dedicate a third of your energy in Grave of Curse to get those odd pieces of gear, like still go farm your goblins and build your champions up and prepare for the Chaos Shadows bosses that are gonna drop at the same time at the increase of the drop. So 30 on day 30 is day 70 from now, so day 7 from now, so in 3 weeks. You have 3 weeks to keep farming domains and goblin to build up as many champions as possible, or to save up the resources to build up as many champions as possible. But then you're also going to need some of this gear. So part of your energy for sure should be dedicated over here. We're going to have a Grave of Curse event probably coming. I don't remember if that has already happened or a Reticle Rune is going to come. We're going to have extra energy, so use some of that bread over here. Don't overlook this dungeon. This is everything for today, guys, and I'm gonna see you soon with another video about Dragonheir Silence God.